And we're live again for another Q&A session with whoever is going to join us for the session this week. And I have, as usual, Imran here with me, only on audio today. Oh, he's gone. He left me. I have to add him again. Can you hear me, Imran?
I will, inshallah, never leave you with the will of the God. Peace to you and everyone else listening.
Okay. So whoever wants to come in and talk with us, they can click on the link that I'm going to drop in the chat, and whoever has the courage to come and join us, they can come. And also checking that we are live on all four streams as well.
Praise to
So
God.
we're good
Yeah, I will follow you in the hereafter,
to. Summer is here, salam.
inshallah.
And let's see who else comes in. Let's give it a couple of minutes before we start the questions.
So, how's your day going so far?
Just normal. I mean, get up, eat food, and brush my teeth. Today is the
Before,
exception. I have to get in front of this camera and talk.
yeah,
Other than
before
that,
we met, before we met you, people had always brainwashed us about lives of messengers as if they are like gods themselves, and they don't have a normal life. They don't walk on the streets. They don't eat and drink.
hmm yeah, I mean, God specifically writes that He doesn't create messengers that don't walk in the streets and that don't die, and they eat food just like the rest, and they have families and spouses and all the issues that you have with uh, their spouses. Like any, you have examples of Muhammad having issues with two of his spouses. So
Yeah,
somebody called Zorias is here. Peace. I don't know who that
peace,
is.
peace, Soraya.
And yeah, when you see what the book says, I mean, we go through the same issues in life as everybody else. It's no difference for the messengers or the prophets or the people. The only difference is that we are guided by God. We are chosen by God. I mean, people always ask the question, why uh, why are you chosen to be this, that, or the other? I mean, why did God choose someone to be a messenger? So the answer is because he chose the person, period. They don't have a choice in it. The messenger does not have a choice to be a messenger of God. So this, I think this guy is now the other. He's God. He comes as Zorias now. every,
Acha. He
every week there's a different name for it.
he's changing it.
So I mean, coming back to the messenger or prophet, or I mean, God chooses who He wants. I mean, God chose Adam above all of mankind and taught him all our names and did not teach the angels our names. So why was that? Did Adam suddenly earn being able to be chosen to be the highest of mankind there just when he was created? What did he do before that to be chosen to be that? Can you explain that to me?
it was just his wish.
So yeah,
No,
exactly. Whatever he chooses. Why did he choose Gabriel to be the Holy Spirit? Yeah. Why did he create you a man and not a demon or an angel? Why are the heavens higher than us and the earths? Why are they a bigger, greater creation than mankind? But everybody will say, no, 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 we're the best creation. We're a higher creation than mankind itself. Uh, like, sorry, than the heavens and the earths itself. Nonsense. We are far lower creation than the heavens and the earths, and the heavens and the earths together are nothing for God. I mean, He created them for us, the the heavens and the earth. He doesn't need them. It's not like God needs the heavens and the earth to exist. We need the earth and the heaven to exist the way He's created it. So, anyway,
Beautiful. But can I ask you, last time you put your name and my name under it so people would know.
right. Yeah, I don't know why it's not coming. You have to put your name, by the way. Uh,
I I put
let's.
my
It is because it's under
oh
this
oh
streaming thing.
okay.
Let's do it this way, then we can do it. Right. So, Summer has a question. A question from last week. You said how Adam ate from the tree. We are still doing it. Can you give an example in this reference? So, I mean, all the things that God has told us not to do in the Quran, we're doing them by and large. I mean, except the few from us. Obviously, there is an exception. He tells us don't partner with him, we partner with him. He says don't reject the hereafter, we reject the hereafter. He says don't take usury and interest, we take usury and interest. He says don't kill without the truth, we're killing without the truth. Don't do adultery, we're doing adultery, and many other things. So, yeah, I mean, there are so many more fruits to take from here than that one that Adam took from last in our last life when man fell from the grace of God that He graced over us great. And this is a good question because I actually wanted to talk about what actually happened in a overarching manner of what happened and why we fell. But we'll come to it later if we have time. So first, there's another question from Zorias. In the Quran, let's put it up here. I forgot to put Summer's question here. So, in the Quran, when Gabriel says that we inspired, what exactly does that mean? Does it mean Gabriel communicated with the one ones being referenced, or does it mean something else? No, we in the Quran means, I mean, of course, depending on the place, you have to understand what's going on. Who is we and who is being inspired to? Everybody is inspired. This we need to understand. All people are inspired. And inspiration is not just communication or ideas being put in our souls, hearts, our minds. Inspiration can be in many different forms: visual, sound, reading, just thoughts in our minds. And who is inspiring? It can be the Satan, it can be an angel, it can be the messenger, it can be the book of God, it can be books written by men, men inspired to each other. I mean, like this concept of inspiration that we've adopted in our lives is all nonsense. So we inspired meaning God, the Spirit, and whoever else God wants. But generally speaking, to the messenger, it's God and the Spirit. To the prophet or the messenger, and of course to the believers as well, to an extent. But the inspiration to the messenger and prophet is far far greater, and the guidance is far far greater. So that's what it means here. And then let's look at another one. Does it mean Gabriel communicated with the ones being referenced directly through his voice? No, there's no voice direct inspiration necessary. If Gabriel appears in front of you, then he will speak to you like he did to Mary. The example is clear. When he brought Jesus to Mary in chapter 9, he said, I'm a messenger of God, and I've come to you to bring you a son pure. He spoke to her and he appeared as a conscious being, like a man, to Mary. So it can be any way. It can be a thought inspired, it can be through dreams inspiration, like was done to Abraham when he was inspired to sacrifice his son in his visions, in his dreams that he saw, and then he eventually succumbed and submitted, and so did uh, Ishmael. And then when he was ready, God stopped him. Obviously, it was just a trial. So yeah, this concept of inspiration is totally misunderstood in our lives. We are being constantly inspired. There is no stoppage of inspiration, even when we are sleeping. But in sleep, we really don't understand most of it. In daily life, we see it and we hear it, and then we get inspired by it, and then we think it, or we are made to think it, because the Satan inspires into the chests of men as well, and he can only uh, overcome the men who are partnering with God or are rejecting God. He can't overcome the men that are being guided by God except with the will of God to test them. So that's why we have chapter 114, the last one, to protect ourselves from the inspiration of the Satan, every Satan, from demons and men, from the demon kind and the mankind. So that should clarify that. Do you have anything else to add there, Imran?
Uh, no, I mean everything that you said is on the dot. It's beautiful.
And so let's see. So let's, since there's no other question, let's talk about
Yeah,
this.
one thing I wanted to ask
You
you
had a
before.
couple of questions. Bring him.
Yeah, yeah. In when I was a young kid reading Quran, one of the things that I used to run away from was chapter 2 until I met you and how you explained to us with the will of God that chapter 2 has the faith in it. So if you could explain in chapter 2, sign number 131, where behold, said to him his Lord, submit. Here God is talking to Abraham. He
Mhm.
said, Abraham said, I submit to Lord of the knowing. So if you could explain how to become a submitter, a Muslim, because they're making everyone mushriks, partnering by the fake kalama. So if you could explain this sign, and then also in relation to that sign, the last signs of chapter 2, which actually has the faith.
Okay, so I mean, do we want to bring it up? I guess you should bring it
Yeah,
up. Yeah,
yeah.
we should bring this up.
Chapter 2, 131.
Okay, so let's share this. Let's see if this is the right one. We'll find out soon enough. Nope, this is not the right one. Let's see if this is the right one. Nope, this is not the right one either. Okay, so do you see it now?
Yeah,
Okay, so here, let's go to start from 30, yeah? And
yeah.
who he inclines over nation of Abraham, except one foolish to his soul. So this is a question. Nobody should incline over nation of Abraham. That's the only nation that will absolutely succeed. They talk about the sect that one of the sect. No, it's the nation of Abraham that will succeed. And already we chose him in the world, and surely he in the hereafter to be from the righteous. So now it says, behold, said to him his Lord, submit. He said, I submit to Lord of the knowing, and ordained with her Abraham, his sons, and Jacob. Her is the submission, because the word submission is female. O my sons, surely the God chooses to you the way. So don't ye surely die except and you are Muslims. So the act of submission is to accept someone, right?
Hmm.
To be whole or complete yourself or surrender yourself to someone. That is the whole concept of submission. And in the aspect of faith, the submission is to God primarily. So to become a Muslim, you must surrender to God in your soul, in your heart. There's no speaking. You can't say it from your mouth and believe that's it. Abraham said it, I submit to Lord of the knowing, aslamtu li rabbil alameen, that he meant it. Most mankind will say things they hardly ever mean, and they will just be hypocritical in their utterance of faith. And it applies to everything in life we do as well. Look around you, yeah. Look at your own examples. That how many times do we just go along to get along, or get along to go along, whatever it is, yeah. And so that You need to do it from your soul, from your heart. You need to submit completely to God, and that makes you a Muslim. You need nothing else to be a Muslim. No other faith is required except the understanding of an unseen God, and you know He exists in your heart, or you believe He exists, and you submit to that entity. Now, after that, if you start uttering nonsense about God, you will go astray, which everybody does without knowledge. You don't need the Quran to be a Muslim. You don't need Jesus or Moses or Muhammad or Abraham to be a Muslim. You don't need to believe them to be a Muslim. You only need to submit to God to be a Muslim. Nothing else. Nothing else is needed. Now, if you reject any one of us, you will no longer be a Muslim. So then people will say, that okay, so then basically when I believe God and Muhammad, I'm a Muslim. No, no. Believing Muhammad, if you see him or you believe him from your heart, will only keep you as a Muslim. It is not required to become a Muslim. You can, if you reject Muhammad or any other messenger, Jesus, Moses, myself, Abraham, Noah, anyone, you will stop being a Muslim. You will be a rejecter, a kafir. So when someone comes to you and tells you he's a messenger of God, you should either say, I cannot know he is or he isn't, instead of rejecting outright. And that's what most people do. Every generation rejects his messenger. Because how can a man be a messenger? How is that possible? Yeah, for them.
All of them were men, were messengers, then
They were
most of them.
special men, they will tell you, right? They were special men. So this is the crux of the problem here, that to remain a Muslim, you need to not reject any messenger, known or unknown to you. If someone comes to you and he says a messenger, today it's easy to deny someone being a messenger of God if you believe the Quran is from God. The problem lies in the fact most people don't believe this Quran is from God, including those who call themselves Muslims. They never read it. I mean, if you think a book is from God, would not that be the absolute most important thing you read and try and understand all your life? Which you can't
Yeah.
understand, because that's why God sends the messenger in the end to make you understand. And then you've understood everything against it, so you can now reject that and believe the truth that the messenger brings. This is another aspect of mankind's uh, idiocy, yeah? That they will not believe what they have rejected from before. Obviously, the book they've rejected, they believe nonsense. So now, to believe the book which they've rejected, they have to reject what they have believed, and that is difficult. Now that I believe this, it's difficult for me to reject this as well, right? And what
Yeah.
level of faith do you have? So it's better for those who have no knowledge to be brought this knowledge for them to believe, because they haven't already rejected it. It's easier,
Hmm.
not that they will believe. I'm just saying it's easier. Those who have made stories out of this book, those who have concocted nonsense about God and his messengers, all of us, they will never believe. It's impossible. It's impossible. Almost impossible, I would say. Of course, because I also believed all the nonsense and garbage I was taught, rejected it, and then I believed this. You cannot believe two things at the same time and think you will not be schizophrenic. I mean, think about it.
Hmm.
You cannot believe that God is and God is not at the same time and not be schizophrenic.
Yeah.
It's true, yeah. So
So, so that's why most are schizophrenic.
I mean, man, I mean, all of us have that tendency. You know that, right? I mean, it's not a secret. So let's go to this last sign of the belief. Yeah.
Yeah. Icing on the cake.
So now I told you what a Muslim is. Now, what is a mu'min? To believe with the messengers, you become believers. To believe with God and submit to Him, you only become a Muslim. You're not a believer. Yeah. So here, if you look at, you see the sign, right? 285.
Y- Yep.
Okay. So here it starts with covenants the messenger with what's sent down to him from his Lord and the believers. So all of us who believe, and us messengers. We covenant with what's sent down to us. God leaves it open here as what is being sent down. Because to Muhammad and all of the messengers after him, it's the Quran, nothing else. That's the book that is going to remain on the earth till the end as the guidance to the messenger and to the believers, and each one of us with covenant with that. But what if it's Jesus? When Jesus comes back, not if, what is sent down to him? The Torah and the Injil.
All three. Yeah.
So you must, God's left it open because Jesus will come down. He covenants with that, and obviously he will covenant with this as well because he knows the Torah had preordained, and the Injil, the Bible so called, that Muhammad and the Quran will come. So when they see it, the Quran, do you think Jesus will not recognize this to be the absolute truth? When he has
Absolutely.
exactly the same thing in his heart, the Torah and the Injil, which confirms this in absolute clarity, without any doubt or any dispute or discord. So that's what we believe with, and we also believe with the Bible and the Torah as it exists, knowing it's corrupted, knowing it's hidden. We believe that because what happens after that? After you believe with what's sent down to you, which is this Quran, obviously you're reading it. Each covenant with the God, number one, and his angels, number two, and his books, number three, and his messengers. Now, people will say, and it's right, that the angels are all messengers as well. But why are angels here? Because they're not like us messengers. They are far higher messengers. They are two steps above of us in the ranks of this faith. They are number two. The books are beneath the angels and the Spirit, of course. And then the last is us messengers from mankind. And then it says, not we separate between anyone from his messengers. So this isn't God speaking here. So this is Gabriel telling us. And we meaning, he says, for all of us. All of us. The angels, the Spirit, and the messengers. We don't separate anyone from his messengers. Between anyone. They will say distinguish. Nonsense. This word is separate, not distinguish. And they say, we listen and we obey. All of us. What we've covenanted with the book. Surely you forgive us, our Lord, and to you the end. This is fundamental faith. Now there's a corollary here, you can read it, but for faith, this is it. To you the end, when we die, we go back to God. So that is faith. That makes you a believer, a Momin, not a Muslim. No Momin cannot be a Muslim. And most Muslims are not Momins. To become a Momin is a massive step from just being a Muslim. Muslim is nothing compared to a Momin. A Muslim is nothing compared to a believer. A believer is far, far higher. I mean, to a level that you cannot imagine. And then after that, the messenger, you cannot see him. That's how high the messengers are above mankind, all the believers as well. So that is the reality. Believe it or not, that is the truth. So that explains it.
Yeah. So those who uh, have become Muslims and are believing men and believing women now following the footsteps of whatever that they've been told and what the messenger is saying, when they will say we listen and we obey and we don't separate, so that would be correct.
Yeah, they also will say they don't separate, but they're not part of that. They are not part of the covenant. The
Yeah.
covenant
So
ends at the messengers. The believers are not part of the covenant. The
so they are
believers are
following the
outside
message.
the covenant. They just covenant with that faith to
They
become,
covenant. They covenant with the covenant.
obviously. I mean, they
Yeah.
covenant that
Okay.
covenant, yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
All right, so we've got lots more questions coming in. We're falling behind. Okay, so here's another one. Or does Gabriel also refer to his own self with the term we? No, Gabriel says we for himself and the angels, or himself and God, or himself and God and the angels, or himself, God and the angels and the messengers and the prophets. You have to figure it out where it's written and what it could mean. God, he says I as well, Gabriel, in the Quran. And God says we, and God says I. I mean, God says we because all of them are under him. All of us are under him. When he says we, it includes all his angels, his spirit, his messengers. It can or it may not, because some places the we only stops at the angels. You know, we can't do that as messengers and believers here. So you know it's that ain't applying to us. That's we them. So that's what it means. All right, so here we go, another one. Okay, so we've got a whole section that he wants to explain from chapter 53, sign 13 till sign 18. Yeah, we can bring it up. Let's share this. And I hope this is the right one again. No, I keep getting the wrong one. Well, whatever. It is what it is. Okay, sign 14 in chapter 53. Can you see it? Imran. Oh, Imran is out right now. So the
I'm
thing.
sorry, I had to. Yeah,
Okay, no
what were
worries.
you saying?
Yeah, no worries. I just was asking if you can see chapter 13 there.
Yeah, I see it.
Chapter 53, sign 13. Yeah.
You see, yeah, yeah, we see it.
No, I can't see it. How's that?
Oh, we see it.
You see it,
That's
but I can't see it.
that's
Fantastic.
strange.
Okay. All right. I see it now. So, why do we want to start from here? We need to start from higher up. This is the whole sequence, yeah. So, this is where Muhammad saw the tree, and they call this the time when he's supposed to have risen to heaven, which is all nonsense. This is the time when he traveled from the sanctified mosque, Masjid al Haram, to Masjid al Aqsa in Jerusalem in the night. And this is what. So let's just go and see it. Yeah, let's just go to 13. So he saw the spirit once, and then they say, "Are but you doubting him over what he saw?" So he saw the spirit once, and already saw him descent other. This descent other that they're speaking about here is when the spirit shows Muhammad the signs in Jerusalem when Muhammad travels from Makkah to Jerusalem. So that's the second descent being talked about. And where did he see him? With fruit tree of the extent. That's where he saw the spirit. So this descent, he came down to the fruit tree. The fruit tree we're talking about is the one that Adam took from. It's amazing how we're talking about the same thing, all of us. Yeah, the Adam story.
Yeah,
And this fruit tree is what Adam and his spouse took from and fell within her garden of the abode. So when Muhammad went to Jerusalem, he was shown the signs obviously in Jerusalem, and also he was shown the vision of the tree. He didn't go there, by the way, he saw him there. Muhammad was shown the vision, the sight of the tree. He did not travel there, not as per the Quran, not as I see it clearly. And within her garden of the abode. So now that tree is the extent, the barrier between us and the garden, one barrier at least. And that's where he saw the tree. He did not go to the garden. People talk about his trip to the seventh heaven. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. He did not go up to the seventh heaven. He saw the tree, and the tree covered what it covered. Behold, it covered the fruit tree. What it covered. What did it cover? The garden, obviously, just being told within her garden of the abode. Not blur the sight and not transgress. So this is, you're talking about a sight, right? He saw it clearly. already saw from signs of his Lord the Great. So God showed him the signs in Jerusalem, all the signs that are there, and then he showed him the tree that is announced in the Quran. Yeah, so that is what happened there, as far as I can see. And the story of the what do you call it? The ascent to the seventh heaven is all conjecture. It's all nonsense. There is no truth to it, not in the Quran. He just went from Makkah to Jerusalem. He saw the signs around there, and then God showed him the tree where the Spirit descended. The second time or the other time, he came down to show Muhammad the tree and himself there. So the question is, who is God narrating these signs to? To Muhammad or to the Muslims and believers or to someone, some others? No, this is to all of those who read the Quran. Absolutely. So these signs that we just read, they are signs of God. Well, why would he need to tell it to Muhammad? He already experienced it. I mean, maybe to remind him when he's old. No, I'm just kidding. So no, these signs are to tell us what happened there, and to the messenger who's learning as well from the Quran. He's the one who actually figures it out, not anyone else. I mean, the Quran is for the messenger to understand completely and explain to all who are on the earth when the messenger is here. The believers don't understand Jack until the messenger comes and explains it, and the messenger doesn't understand Jack until the Quran comes and explains it to the messenger after Muhammad. Before that, it was the Bible. Before that, it was the Torah. And afterwards, when Jesus comes, it will be the Torah, the Injil, and the Quran when he is here. Okay, so that should explain that one, I hope. So what do we have? Do we have any other questions coming in? None so far after that. So let's go to the story. I'm going to just explain the
Yeah.
overall picture of what happened now with our first creation. So when God created all of us, whenever that was, it was not on this earth, it was in the garden from where we were kicked out after what happened. So when he created us, he chose Adam above. Now, another, this is okay. I'm going to shut this down. Yeah. Can anyone sincerely try to attempt and become a messenger of God? You cannot become a messenger of God by trying. God chooses you. You don't have a choice. There is no sincerity or trying needed. When God chooses a messenger, he's his messenger. You're not going to become a messenger just because you try to become a messenger. This is nonsense. This guy just keeps on bringing this nonsense up over and over. And people, as generally, you're not going to become a messenger of God because you try. You can deliver messages of God as a believer, absolutely. What you understand. Most believers do not understand Jack compared to the messengers. Jack, I mean, and I'm being serious. Most believers have no clue to where the messenger stands in judgment and understanding and wisdom. I didn't choose to become a messenger of God. I chose to accept that I'm a messenger of God after a lot of back and forth years until I submitted to God's judgment, his choice. I have no choice but to deliver the message of God. If I don't do that, I will go to hell. The believers will not be held to that account. I will. I will be held to that account. So, anyway, so we're going to now go back to the Adam story. So, when we were
Yeah.
all
Well,
created,
before you do that, if I may just say one thing, uh, dude, whoever's asking this question, I would just suggest to you something that thinking like this will make you fall, and you will not even become a Muslim or a believing man.
Yep.
What you need to tell yourself, so, dude, is that there is a messenger of God. You need to follow him and follow all of them. Maybe then you may prosper. But if you have anything else that you want to compete with a messenger, you want to become a messenger, you need to kill that thought before it destroys you, dude. Just submit and listen and obey to God and his messengers, and you'll be okay, inshallah.
Yeah, but man is an arrogant piece of garbage, and he cannot think of himself less than being a messenger of God. And if someone else is, then I have to be as well. Yeah, this is the thought of Satan, by the way. Satan fell because of his arrogance, because he disobeyed God, and he fell, and that's what we're going to come to soon. So when he created Adam and all of us, we were all created up in the garden from sulfur. All of us were created all together, and we were given life via the Spirit of God when he blew life into us. He's the one who blows life into all creation, the Holy Spirit Gabriel. He told the angels, he told the angels that now he's arguing, stop arguing, okay, you will only go down into this disaster. You've asked this question, God only knows how many times, and God only knows in your heart. You've already been answered this question many times. Do not try and talk back to what you've already been answered tens of times. In this people there will be no other messenger except myself. If you find another messenger like myself, then one of us is not going to be a messenger. That's the reality of the Quran. So deal with that. Either
इसको
you're a messenger or I'm a messenger. Both of us cannot be with this Quran. Okay? After Muhammad till the end. There will
इसको
be
वो
only one for every people. Get that into your head and accept that.
इसको वो sign बता दें, not came to your people a messenger from
I
before
don't
this.
care. I don't care. I have said what I've said. You can think whatever. You can make yourself God. Most of man, but when you say these kinds of things, you're making yourself God fundamentally because you're trampling the command of God. Period. You don't understand the Quran. If you accept that I am a messenger, then there can be no other messenger today in this people, has not been and will not be till the next people come, whatever that is, however that works. So if you cannot understand that and you cannot accept that, I don't know what you're doing here. First of all, I mean, what are you learning from me if you keep thinking this in your thoughts? Imran was similar. Imran told me 4 months after I met him, am I a warner? Like, what question? I mean, I said, I don't know. And then now, absolutely, I know there's no way you can be a warner either. There is no warner, there is no messenger, there is no prophet here today except me. There is none. There can be none if I am, of course. If I am not, then there will be someone else who will be in these people. But I know I am because I have inspiration from God in ways that you people cannot understand. You will never understand because you have to experience that inspiration. You cannot just get that inspiration, and I can't explain that inspiration to you. I can explain what God is showing me, absolutely. But how it comes to me, you cannot understand that. Only I experience that. The messenger, just like Muhammad saw the Spirit, I didn't. Twice, I didn't see the Spirit. I saw some things in my life, signs that have only come once and never repeated, and that's for me to know. I don't have to explain it to you, but the Quran explains what happened to Muhammad. We accept that, absolutely. No doubt about it. Anyway, so going back, so now this has been now twice interrupted the story. Yeah. So now where were we? He taught the names of all of us to Adam and not the angels, right? That's where we stopped.
Yeah,
Imran.
we stop there. Yep.
Okay. So so now he tells the angels, tell me the names of these. And of course, they don't know it. They don't know the names. So they say, we don't know. And then he tells Adam, tell them with names of them. Them are all of us, by the way, standing there. So Adam informs them with his name, with all our names to the angels. So he honored Adam with knowledge above the angels. So with that fact, he told the angels, prostrate to Adam, all of them all together. So all of them altogether prostrated to Adam except Iblis. He rejected, he was arrogant, he disobeyed God. Okay? And he is a fire being, a demon. He is from the demon kind, made an angel by God. He was not originally an angel. He made one of the demons called Iblis an angel. And then God told him, "Why don't you prostrate? I order you." And he said, "No, you created me from fire. You created him from sulfur. I ain't prostrating this little thing." Yeah. So that's when Iblis became Satan. So he had a choice. He rejected. It's not that God forced him to do it. God told him to prostrate. He didn't. Then he asked him why not. He doubled down. Last week I said mankind doubles down. So do the demon kind. Arrogant. Just because you're smarter than the messenger, just because you're more powerful than the messenger, just because you have more wealth than the messenger, does not make you higher than the messenger. And that's the only reason they make to make themselves higher than the messenger. Even if you have more intellect, does not mean, but you will never have the wisdom I have. That's for sure. That's not going to happen. And the knowledge of the book. So that's where Satan became Satan. And then God, I'm not going to say the whole details, takes too long. I'm going to give you the gist of it. Then God told uh, Adam and his spouse that establish the garden. This guy is your enemy, Satan, Iblis. He's your enemy. Don't let him get you out of this garden. Eat wherever you want. Wherever you go, just eat what you want. No stopping. Don't come close to this tree, this one tree, the fruit tree, and don't taste from it. If you do, you will be from the wrongdoers and you will be split. Okay, so that's what he told Adam. And Satan on the other side asked God, "Give me sight till the day they're brought out." So now God gave him sight. So Satan then whispered into Adam and his spouse in the garden. What did he tell them? So, and of course, God said that you will have all food to eat. There will be no hunger, there will be no thirst, there will be no cold, there will be no heat. Take it easy. You got everything, huh? Enjoy the garden. So then Adam starts telling them these three things he told them fundamentally. He said that, God doesn't want you to take from this tree because if you take, you'll become two angels. Okay? And if you take, you will inherit a kingdom, not it perishes. So a kingdom forever. And if you take, you will be from the perpetually living. So these three things he told Adam and his spouse. And he promised them that he is from the sincere. He is absolutely sincere to them. God's trying to put one over on you, yeah? Yeah. He's trying to stop you from becoming two angels, living forever, having a kingdom that never will perish. So they took it, the fools. They took from the tree, and that's when the story ends up there. And we are all put to death. And then we're sent down here as this creation, which happens from two people, a male and a female, a man and a woman. And then we're created through the womb of the woman. That's how we are now created on this earth, the second creation, originally from dust and then from sperm and egg and all the other things that we already know. So that's how it happened. That is the fundamental reason why we're down here, all of us. What did we get tried with? I don't know. If we failed as well. And don't blame Adam for it. You would have failed way quicker than Adam and his spouse. Don't think that you would have not failed up there. Yeah. So now my question that I give you this overall view is, what made Adam and his spouse fall? What is the reason? So whoever has the answer, and there are some who already have the answer, they're not allowed to answer, who are listening. Those who have not been asked this question, answer to me, what made Adam and his spouse fall? What was the actual reason?
They
Anyone?
were in the Quran. There is a sign that says, "And made him fall the Satan with deception."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
that is
huh?
absolute truth. But why? What was the reason? That is the reason, but why? What
Bec-
happened? What caused them to do it? Of course,
the
deception. He deceived them by saying this, and then I'm sincere to you. So they believed him. Obviously, they believed nonsense, just like all of mankind believes nonsense on the earth.
the desire to live forever and be an angel.
Yeah, you can say that, but why? There's a reason why. Yes, anybody
They
can,
don't want to die.
and yeah, that's also a reason. Anybody can answer. Okay, put your answers in the chat. Why? What was the reason? Your answers are not wrong, by the way, Imran. They're totally right, but there is a key reason which, when you hear it, you will know it in your heart. And God inspired me this last week after 20 years of reading this book. I
Uh, so
finally
we
figured out.
so we don't have the answer
Oh,
for
you
this.
can. Two people guessed it. Two of the believers, two of those who believe with me, guessed the answer. I obviously guided them like I'm guiding you, telling you all the knowledge. So give the answer. Summer says, I know. Zoriah says, may I answer? So answer. Say the answer. Write it down in the chat. It doesn't take too long. Imran said that, yeah, perpetual life. That is an answer, but that's not the reason. The the fundamental reason.
The fundamental reason why Adam and his spouse ate from the tree.
Yeah. And Zoriah says, I don't know why he keeps changing his name. Adam wanted to be higher than the angel. No, he wanted to be an angel. Doesn't mean he wants to be higher. Yes, he wanted to be an angel. He wanted to live forever. He wanted to have a kingdom that never perished. That's for sure. But why? What is
Desire,
it? Huh?
desire.
Yeah, that. But why? Why? All these questions are right. I mean, the answers. These answers are correct to the question I asked. But yeah, kingdom, not a yes. All these are correct. But why? What is the reason? When you are done, then tell me and I will answer it.
I will not be able to answer it without the help
Well,
of God.
that's a defeatist attitude, right? You can keep guessing, but like, I mean, there's going to be a limit to guesses, obviously.
Yeah, I'm defeated already.
Anyone else? No? Okay, so I'll tell you why. The word is greed. Okay? The word is greed.
Praise to God.
And look in yourselves now and understand what that means. For this person, his greed is he wants to be a messenger, right? For others, it is to be rich. For others, it is to be beautiful. For greed, okay? Never is good enough for us. Nothing is ever good enough for man. Look at yourselves, understand yourselves. Yeah, when you get something, you want something else. This is man. The only ones who can fight that and control that are the only successful ones. The rest are going to go down to hell, which is the vast majority. Okay? Greed. Why do I say greed? Why do I say greed? What did they have? Everything. Everything they have. They had everything. They had food, water, no heat, no cold. So you don't even need a home to live there. Can you imagine? You don't need a
Des-
shelter. When there's no cold and there's no heat, you can run around in the garden, naked as they were apparently. Yeah, in the end, when they took from the fruit, they were naked. They had to cover their evil parts with the leaves. Yeah, they had everything. They were in the garden, man. The
so,
garden, which is like
so,
unfathomable for us here, what we have here, and
so
they want more. This is the God says He
desiring
made
the excess.
excess. They want more. No, no, it's not excess. More. They had excess. What do you think? The garden is not excess?
That's true.
Think about it. It's man's idiotic desire for more. This technology, this building, these railways, these planes, these trains, these ships, these submarines, these whatever. Yeah, tanks and buggies and balloons and AI and what the hell are we doing? There's no escape from here except death. And we won't accept that. We want to turn back death as well. Here, we want more. We want more. That is the stupidity of man and Adam and his spouse. They had everything. All God told them was, don't take from this one tree. Do you think there were 5 million other trees they could take from there? Absolutely. Absolutely. And what did they do? They take that one thing which will get them more. And why do I say man is less? Because of that. Man is less than an angel. Why would you want to be an angel if you're more than an angel? That is absolute stupidity as well. I mean, when you're a messenger of God, will you want to be a normal man after that? Are you crazy? No. So that's why they wanted to be an angel, because angels are far greater than man. Angels are far greater than mankind. You cannot understand. These people talk about all these uh, worlds that exist out there, yeah, in the so-called nonsense universe they've created, which does not exist. It does not exist. That thing doesn't exist. And they tell you that there are worlds that are inhabitable out there, and creatures and beings are living out there. But when you tell them there's angels running around, no, no, that's fairy tales. That's fairy tales, man. There's a Holy Spirit. What are you talking about? These are all fairy tales invented by man. But your fairy tales, based on your nonsense about what you've said the universe is, which it isn't, is all true and is possibly true, yeah? But this, don't even talk about. This is like all of mankind's been talking about. This is all nonsense. It never happens. There are no angels. The joke about how many angels can fit on the head of a needle, right? Something like that. How many angels can fit on the tip of a needle? These jokes that they create, yeah, infinite, because they aren't beings like us. I mean, like, what are you talking about? So this is the reality. Understand yourselves. You're greedy. Be greedy for the right thing. Be greedy for what is righteous. But man will be greedy for what he does not need and just wants because he wants it. Of course, greed is a generic word which can be used for good and evil, just like almost everything else, right? So when you're greedy, be greedy for knowledge of God, the book of God, the wisdom from God, the hereafter, forgiveness from God, guidance from God, protection from God. That's what you should be greedy for. But no, 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 that's just nonsense. That's just nonsense. Anyway, okay, so let's look at a question here. And Summer says, I knew the answer would be right there. Hasn't it always been with me? How many things have happened like this since the last 15 years that we've known? When I give an answer, and most of you fumble and founder and flounder, and the answer is straightforward. Yeah. Okay, were Adam is destined to one day die and permanently precious inside of the garden, which is why they both saw reprisal while eating from the tree. This is a question you can ask, but the answer is unknown. I'll tell you a possible answer. Satan said, give me sight to a day they brought out. So they were put in this trial in the garden, right? In the garden they were, so everything was there for them. So what would have been the trial there? A term. They had to complete a term. So either they had to completely and unequivocally reject Satan's inspiration, and God would accept that, just like he does here when we become Muslims and he accepts us as that. We don't just become Muslims because we want to be. God has to accept us to be Muslims and believers and everything else, except when he chooses a messenger. There is that. There is that. That is a different concept. When he chooses messengers and prophets, you have no choice. When Moses was born, he was destined to be a messenger and a prophet. What did he do to deserve that? You can ask God. Jesus came into the world as a messenger and prophet with the book in his heart. Okay, how does that work? Did he have any choice? No. Same with Yahya, same with Mary and others. but these clearly in the book. And all the prophets were taken a covenant before we came here. Not I as a prophet, as a messenger. They were taken a covenant. The prophets, they were all chosen back then. I never say I'm a prophet. I don't know. I probably am not. Maybe I am. I don't know. I am a messenger of God. There's no doubt in my mind. Absolutely no doubt. There's nothing that can make me think that I'm not a messenger of God now. If I do, then I'm going to fall into the fire now. I mean, all the things God has shown me and given me, if I now repudiate that, reject that, like Jonah did, I'll be akin to being in the stomach of that fish forever, possibly, which he came out of by crying out and asking forgiveness of God. We are all liable for making errors, almost all of us except Jesus. So, anyway, so that could have been the reason that they were going to come out eventually of the garden. Yeah, and never perish. They may have been a possibility that they could perish in the forms they were in that garden God had put it. I don't know. I can't tell you this. I don't have knowledge of this, but I can surely tell you that they fell for one of those three things. Yeah, becoming two angels, a kingdom that never perishes, or living perpetually. One of those three things they wanted more than what already they had, or all three of them. So the question is, were they ever going to die there? I don't know. Everybody's going to die here. We know that. And the interpretive understanding of the Quran is that all of the heavens and the earths have been made for a term summed. So in the end, God will destroy all of it. If you look at this creation, as I've been contemplating for myself, from what the Quran says, that the actual universe, so called, that they call the heavens and the earth, is what the reality is suspended within God, top to bottom, because all around us is God. It's not like hell goes on forever underneath. Hell goes on for the seven levels of hell, just like the gardens up are the six other heavens above us. So if you look at this reality, we are suspended. Whatever this God has created is suspended within him. And when he wants, he can do this and it will be gone. He's all around. The heavens want to fall down from above them with the fear of God. So what are beneath? There's an end to the hell as well. There are seven levels. What's beneath that, you think? God. And the extent to the sides. What's beyond that all around? God. Above, what's all around? God. God is everywhere around this creation, as far as I see it. I may be wrong, probably not. So, do you see that or not?
Yep,
All
clearly.
right. So now we're coming up to an hour. So I will be signing off if there are no more further questions. So this thing about greed, think about ourselves. Yeah, I fought that. Now I look back. I overcame in 2007 my greed, and I've kept constant on that since then to this day. Thank God. Okay, so one more question and then we're gone. This is
And the
it.
last 15 years, now I look at it, 99% is because of the greed.
Okay, will Judgment Day be a continuous periodical occurrence even after the chosen mankind and jinns of God have entered into the garden? No, the Judgment Day will occur at the end of this earth when it's destroyed completely. The final judgment, by the way. There are many judgments along the way that are happening all the time. Another question that needs to be answered in a little more detail: whenever you die, you are put in hell. When you die, you're put in hell, or possibly in the garden, or maybe turned off. So continuously people are going to hell when they die. And then at the end of all generations, each generations and every generation, there is a judgment for that people. And then people are sent to hell, and people are sent to the garden or wherever or whatever. And then at the end, it will all end when this earth and heaven is destroyed and we all are brought out or resurrected, either or. This doesn't have to be resurrection. We can be brought out from the unseen into the seen earth, from under the earth, from the side of the earth, from the garden to the earth, wherever, they will be brought out or they will be resurrected, whichever one God wants to do. This is not something big or complicated for God to achieve. So there are judgments happening throughout from the beginning. It's happening all at this right now. Everything is happening right now, okay, all around us. It's not like the dead are dead, yeah, all of them. They're living. It's not like the dead in the hell are not alive. They're living there, burning in hell all the time, dying and not living and not dying, continuously dying. So we don't know what's going on clearly out there, but absolutely it's all existing right now. It's not like the heavens and the gardens were not created when they were all created. They were all existing before we came here, obviously. Then we were thrown down here and we were told by God, some of you to others enemies, and to you sustenance to a while here. You will live and you will die in this earth, and from this earth you will be taken out another time. Okay, that word taken out does not necessarily mean resurrection. So there can be many different ways God can take you out that day, from the other side, from within the earth, out of the hell to the earth, to be standing in front of God to be judged, whatever He wants to do. And at the end, which is called Day of the Standing, we will all stand to mankind, all the demons and all the men. You know, it's the demons are still here running around, okay? It's not like the demons have been vanquished. They're all running around. Iblis is inspiring to all his subordinates, from the men and the demons that are Satan's and rejectors, to take mankind astray, so they join him in hell. Absolutely. So yeah, this is after that there will be no continuous. When it's done, it's done. Then it will be finished. I don't know what God's going to do after that. You can ask Him when you're there. As far as the book is concerned, when the whole thing ends and mankind and demonkind and all, we are judged and we are finally put in our places, that's it. After that, if God wants to take someone out of the hell, it's up to Him. And if He wants to take someone out of the garden, it's up to Him what happens there. But this judgment will end. This whole trial that we're in will end. And we are in a trial, no doubt about it. There's no two things about it. We are in a trial here. We are being tried. And most of us absolutely will fail. Will absolutely fail here. Most of us. And I mean 75% or more minimum. Because most of mankind will not believe, will be rejecting God. And most of mankind who believe that God exists will make partnership with God, one way or another, to overturn His command, to become themselves the judges. You know, when people talk about this Quran, they speak in a condescending manner to the Quran. The Quran is speaking to us in a condescending manner, just like the messenger speaks to us in a condescending manner, just like the angels and the spirits speak down to us in condescending manner, just all the messengers as well. And then the messengers and prophets speak condescendingly to the rest of humanity. And that's why it's impossible. Oh, these guys are too arrogant. They are high and mighty. Yes, we are. We are the high ones, the messengers and the prophets. And the higher than us are the books of God. And then the higher than them are the angels and the spirit. And then the highest is our Lord, the God, the Almighty, who will vanquish these morons in short order when the term completes for these people, as has been done for all people before us. There will be no escape. All right, then. I think we'll call it, yeah? So, peace, everyone. Next week, if wishes
Inshallah.
my Lord, we will convene again next Friday.